All right, so let's get right into it. So before I start my makeup every day, I moisturize. Today, my skin is a little bit more on the dry side, but normally I have normal skin for the most part. But because of the season, it's a little bit more dry. So every day I use the Tatcha, the Dewy Skin Cream. This is amazing, 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 amazing cream for your face. I absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong, it is a little bit more on the pricey side, but it is so worth it. So let's get moisturized because my skin needs this badly today. I had a shower and I came out and my skin is like so dry, and I live in Canada, and so it's winter obviously, and so the heat's on, so my skin's just a little bit more dry than what it would normally be any other time of the year, which is normal. My skin is all moisturized. It is feeling fantastic. So I'm going to leave it, let it settle in my skin, and I'm going to do my eyebrows. So for my eyebrows, I actually use a hairspray to lift them up and keep them in place. So I just take a spoolie and then I use the Got2b Glued hairspray, and I'll spray my spoolie just a little bit, and then I'll brush it through my brows just to keep them up and hold them in place. And I know there's lots of brow glue and everything, but to be honest, I kind of like this a little bit better. It really holds everything in place. So to finish off my brows, I always use the Precisely My Brows pencil in shade 4.5 from Benefit. I love this pencil. It has a really fine tip to it, which I absolutely love. I've tried so many different brow pencils and they're just really thick, and I don't like that. So this one is my go-to. And I also use the Brow Zings Pro Palette, also by Benefit, just to fill it in. And this is it. This is in shades light to medium. So when I start my brows, I always line the bottom first, just to kind of give it a little bit of a shape. And then I will, once I carve out my eyebrows with my eyeshadow primer, I will carve it out really nicely. This is just to get it started and try to work out a shape. Now I'll line the bottom and then I'll go and do the top, but I don't start at the beginning. I start right here just to kind of give that arch shape. So let's put that in. And then I'll just lightly kind of do light strokes and fill it. But then I'll go in with the Brow Zings Pro Palette, and I'll just kind of fill it in a little bit more. But there we go there. And it looks really good. I mean, I could even leave it like this because it kind of looks like hair strokes, kind of. But if you look up close, it's kind of messy. And then I'll just kind of lift it and just kind of give myself a little bit more of a desired shape that I want. So I'm just going to go do the other brow and I'll be right back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with my brow brush right here. This one's from Morphe. And I'm going to go in with the lightest shade up here. I'm going to start off with that. I don't want to go too dark. Some days I go a little bit darker, but other days not so much. It depends. And I'm just going to start right there and just kind of lightly do feather strokes and just kind of fill it in. Just lightly. And I'm just doing the arch and the ends. I'm gonna go in with a lighter color for the front of my brows. I'm gonna leave it for now, and then once I'm done my eyeshadow, if I feel like I just need a little bit more darkness in my brows, I'll darken it up later. So let's carve out the eyebrows with my eyeshadow primer. Eyeshadow primer that I use every single day. It is my favorite, and I am a huge eyeshadow primer fiend. I love it. I cannot do my eyeshadow without eyeshadow primer. So I've tried so many different kinds, and this is my favorite right now. It's Anastasia Beverly Hills. You can get it at Sephora. You can get it online. It is fantastic. It dries out to be a powder finish, so it's really, really, really good for blending. I got my fine tipped brush here, my flat fine tipped brush. So I'm going to carve out my eyebrows. I'm just going to take a little bit here, put it on the tip, and then just kind of get off all the excess so there's no like super clumps up to your brow. And then I'm just going to carve out my brow. Now, and if you were kind of wonky with doing your brows, this is going to clean it right up. So I got my desired shape, so now I'm just going to go right in with it. And like, I can't even tell you how much I love this eye primer. It is the best one I have tried so far. So I'm just going to kind of pat it on, make sure it's completely covered. And on the ends where there's that line, I'm just going to tap my finger and kind of fade so it's not a really defined line. Now that I have all of that on, I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm just going to lightly move the product around just to blend it all out so you don't have any lines from your brush from applying it. Just blend it out very lightly. And then we're going to just go in with a little bit of concealer and do the top of the brows. For me personally, I find a lot of concealers are a little more of the creamy, not creamy, but not as thick as I like. So I use the Younique stick foundation. I really like this as a concealer. So I'm just going to take another flat brush and put my brush on there, and I'm going to just carve out the top of my brows. Okay, and we're just going to kind of blend it out, and then I'll put my foundation on later after I'm done my eyes, and then it will be completely blended out. I just kind of want to carve it and make sure I have the right shape that I want. Okay, really get in there. I'm really happy with the shape that I've created. Now we are ready for color. So today I'm going to be using Pink Crush Cosmetics, and I haven't used pink in a while, so I'm going pink. And I'm going to use one of their new palettes called Rainbow Reef. To start my crease, all I did was take a fluffy brush. These feather brushes are from Spoiled Cosmetics. And I just took this fluffy brush and I went in with this pink right here. And I just kind of started on the edges and then worked my way around just to give myself a little bit of an eye shape. And I like using a fluffy brush because it kind of blends it out too, so you don't get a super harsh crease or a super harsh line when you're doing it. So I'm just giving myself a little bit of an eye shape and blending it out as we go. And where you hold your brush really determines as to how much pressure you're going to be putting. So if you're going to hold the brush like this, it's going to be a lot more pressure on your eye, which is going to give a lot more pigment. If you go on the end of the brush, it's a lot lighter and it's way better for blending. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm doing small circles and just kind of giving myself that shape. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to take another fluffy but kind of thinner brush here, and I'm going to go in with this darker pink right there. And always tap off the excess. Always, always, always tap off the excess. Otherwise, you're going to get it all over your face. And I've noticed, like, I used to do my foundation first. I always had to, like, touch it up because of the fallout. Okay? On not all palettes, but most palettes, you're going to get a lot of fallout. So I never liked doing my foundation last But I've started doing it because it's just like, really, why am I redoing my whole freaking face just because of Fallout? So I just do it last. So anyways, but always make sure to tap. Always make sure to tap. So I'm going to take the darker pink and just kind of bring it right in that corner. And I'm going to go over the crease. So I'm going to lightly go like this and move the brush in circular motions just to kind of give me that little bit of definition with the darker pink. Do you see how much definition there is now? So you can kind of see where the crease is, and it's just kind of giving it a little bit more shape. So I'm just going to go in and just kind of tap it just to make it blended a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with a lighter pink that we had originally started with and hold your brush on the end, and then we're going to really blend. Really blend, 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 blend. And we're going to try to match the other eye. And you're going to want to go all over in little circular motions. So I'm kind of happy with this, but I'm going to put just a little bit more right there of the darker pink. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to darken up the ends a little bit more. I went in a little bit further on this eye, so I'm just going to match that up. Brought that dark pink in a little bit, so now we're going to go in with the lighter pink and just kind of blend it just a little bit. Take the fluffy brush and we're just going to blend it just so it kind of goes from a dark to a light. And then we're going to go in with the Metamorphosis palette, and we are going to use, this is like a microchrome shade, kind of. We're going to go in with this one here. It's called Transformation. It's like a pinky, well, you can kind of see it here. It's like a not pink, it's a purple shimmer, kind of with a little teensy touch of blue. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. So I'm going to go in with this, and I'm going to just take a flat, dense brush and put a base on. And kind of just carve out where I want it to be. Okay, and then I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to use my middle finger and really pack in that color. Really pack that in. Like, it is such a beautiful color. Like, these palettes I absolutely love. The Metamorphosis palette, I've done a few looks and I absolutely love it. They have like a blue microchrome as well. I have to show you it. It's so pretty. All the shades are so, so, so pretty. It just has a little tinge of blue in it. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. It kind of looks great in the camera. Oh, that's a shame. Now we're going to do some blending. So I'm going to go in with the darker pink on the edges right here. I'm just going to go darken it just a little bit and bring it all the way along my crease. And I'm going to take the lighter pink, and I'm using a little bit smaller, a smaller fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with the pink, and I'm just going to tap it. Just going to tap it on to blend. See how nicely that blends? It's blended so nicely, and then we're just going to go in with our Metamorphosis palette, the transformation color that we used, and we're just gonna kind of blend it just a little bit, just light strokes, super, super light. And now you got, it's a little bit more blend. It looks so blended. We're gonna bring in the color just a little bit more because I went in a little bit further with this color on the other eye. So I'm just going to try to match it up, and I'm just going in with the darker, oh, this is the light pink, sorry. We're just going to go in with that light pink and just kind of bring it in just a little bit until we're happy. So I'm going to go back over so you don't see that line. Go over it just so you don't want to be able to see the line there. So I'm pretty happy with the way that the transition is now. You can really see that the colors are really blending in. So the dark pink to the light pink into the purpley beautiful shimmer. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm just going to blend it just a teensy bit more on the top here. And then we're going to go in with a nice shimmer on our brow bone. So this is from Estate. It's called Do Me in shade Pearl. And it's like a pinky purple, really beautiful highlight. It is beautiful. So we're going to go in with that right now. Again, I just have a small, dense, flat brush. And I'm just going to tap it on there and just go over the top. Now, when you're doing this, it's going to really blend that pink together. So if you have a little bit of a harsher line there, this brow bone color is really going to make it look more blended. And we're also going to go over, so I put that on, so I'm going to go over with the light pink with our fluffy brush again and really blend that out and bring it back up. Like, look how beautiful that looks. Super happy with the way that this look is turning out so far. And I was thinking about doing a winged liner, but I think I'm going to hold off. I think I'm just going to leave it as is. So I'm just going to go in with a black pencil liner and do my waterline and my eyelash line. I'm just going in, and because I don't know, I love my black. I just got black all over me. See, this is a reason why you don't do foundation first. So let's get that off. There we go. We're going to cover it up with foundation. So we're going to go in and do the waterline again. So let's go in and do the waterline. And the upper lash line. Now that that's all done, I'm going to do foundation. Today I want to have a little bit more of a full coverage, so I'm going to go with the Kat Von D or KVD Beauty in Light 46 Cool. So we're going to get started with that. This foundation is a full coverage. Full coverage. So if you do have dry to normal skin, I highly suggest that you use a really good moisturizer. Otherwise, it's going to be very flaky. I'm also going to go in with the KVD Beauty foundation brush. I really like this brush because of the way that it's shaped. I was a little unsure the first time I used it, but I've used it a couple times now, and I'm really liking it because it really molds to the shape of your face for cheekbones, even around your brows. Like, it is fantastic. So let's get it in. This is, like I said, this is a very matte foundation. A good moisturizer is a must. And I'm not using any primer today. I break out very easily, and I have yet to find a primer that doesn't really make me break out too bad. I mean, I was using the Milk Hydro Grip for a few times, and then I noticed I was starting to get really bad breakouts. So I kind of stopped using it, but I keep kind of going back to it because I do like it. The only thing that the problem is that it makes me break out, and we don't want that, right? And like I said, I do have very sensitive skin. So we're gonna shape. I love this little brush because it's so small and you can really get around those brows nicely. I was so unsure about it when I first got it, but then I'm like, oh my god, what a fantastic brush. And I have been using her, I just got these foundations not long ago, so I've been really like testing them out because I do like a matte finish. And I was never really all for like a full coverage, but I'm here for it now. I'm here for it. It just like really makes the face look so, so good. I'm going to go in with a sponge and just kind of get rid of any lines that I might have for my foundation brush. But first I'm going to spray my sponge with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I went to Sephora and I'm like, what's your best setting spray that you have? And I was directed to this, and my gosh, this girl was right. I love it. So we're just going to spray it just a couple times just to get it a little bit damp. And then we're going to lightly go over and get rid of any of the lines that we might have from our foundation brush. And it's going to be setting it as well. It's going to be kind of giving it a little bit of, instead of, because I didn't use a primer, it's just going to be kind of letting it set in place. And then we're going to spray it after as well. No lines, everything is great. It's pushed into the skin really nicely. So we are good. For concealer, I do like using the Unique Stick Foundation as a concealer. I used it on the top of my eyebrows, but this foundation is just a little bit too light to use that. So I'm going to go in with the Jeffree Star concealer in shade C9.5. And I've used this a few times and I'm still a little unsure of how I feel about it. I'm not too sure. I feel like it's not as creamy as I like. As I mentioned before, I do like a creamy base. I do like a creamier concealer. So I'm still kind of on the fence about this one. I've only used it a couple times, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I need to use it a few times before I can really get an idea of if I like a product or not. I need to be able to use it like quite a few times. Really set the concealer. I did use a sponge, but now I'm really gonna use a foundation brush and push it into my skin. I have a lot of fine lines underneath my eyes, so it's kind of, I don't like baking. So, because baking is just really gonna make that pop, and we do not want that. Okay, concealer, foundation, everything's good to go. Now we're gonna go and you do the under eyes, and I'm gonna use the pink that I used on the outer corners and to really define that crease. So we're gonna use that on the under eye. I'm just gonna use the same brush I used, kind of flat but puffy, and like take off as much excess as you can, and we're just gonna give her a little bit of color underneath, and when it's mixed with that black from the liner, it is to die for. And then we're really gonna define the eye. I don't feel like it's out far enough on the end, so we are gonna fix that as well. So let's just get this on first. And then we're going to take a fluffier brush and really blend it. I really like the way it mixes with the black. It just makes it look so good. I'm a fan of black. Okay, so let's clean up the edges just a little bit. We're going to really define where we want our makeup to end. I like cleaning it up with a sponge after, so you can be messy and really bring it out to where you really want it to be. And I always like it really, really dark on the ends. So that's why I'm really putting a lot of pigment in, because I just like that little definition on the ends. So I'm just going to take a cotton swab. I'm gonna put, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna put any makeup remover on it today. Sometimes I would put some eye makeup remover on it, but today I'm not because I already put my foundation on. I'm just gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna line it up with where my color ends underneath my eye, and really give that definition. And I'm gonna touch up all that. Oh, let's see, look at that, look how pretty it is. And I'm really pushing hard because I really want to get that definition. And because it's kind of wonky there, we're just going to take a small round brush and take the dark pink. And we're just going to define it just a little bit, but very lightly, very, very lightly. We're just going to make that just a little bit more defined. Oh, see, look how pretty it is. I love this look. So with the excess foundation on my foundation brush, I'm just going to tap it in over top of the concealer, just lightly, just lightly. So any spots that I did take off, they're going to be filled. Perfect. There we go. With our fluffy brush that we use for our crease for the light pink, I'm going to go in again with a little bit of light pink, and I'm going to very, very lightly go on my under eye. Really blend that out. I took my foundation brush and I just brought that color up just a little bit. So I took a little bit of the concealer, took off all the excess off my hand, and I'm just gonna very lightly bring that color up just a little bit because we don't want it too far down on our eye, and pat it right in. Before I put my lashes on, I always go in with mascara. So I'm going to use the Essence Lash Princess Volume Mascara on my lashes. So we're just going to put a thin layer of that on. Now I've already cut my lashes to size, and I'm just using some lashes that I got off of Amazon. They're more of like a natural glam. They're really beautiful. Here they are here. They're really, really beautiful. They're not too full, but they're not too natural either. They're very beautiful. And for my glue, I was using Duo there for a little while, or for quite a while. And then I saw that somebody on TikTok that mentioned this glue from Kiss. It's really, really good. I am loving it. It is my favorite so far. I'm noticing that it really sticks all day. Like, it is really, really good. And it has a brush on it. So let's apply the glue on the band. And you're going to want to wait until it gets tacky before we apply. So we're just going to coat that right up with the glue. Like I said, this lash glue is probably the best that I've used yet. I have noticed that it stays pretty tacky throughout the day. So if it does come off just a little bit, you can reapply and it's going to stick nicely. While we're waiting for lash glue to get tacky, we're going to kind of roll it so it gets into the shape of your eye. See how nice that is now? My lash glue is getting kind of tacky now, so I think we'll be okay. So I grabbed my mirror, and I'm going to be looking down into the mirror as I'm applying it. You don't want to be looking up, you want to be looking down. So let's get this on. Make sure it's on there nicely. Look how beautiful. Just make sure it's fully attached. And I'm just going to go in with my spatula and just kind of really make sure, this is my spatula here. I'm just going to really make sure that it's on there. Push it on to make sure it is attached everywhere. Sometimes it's a little bit of a pain to get the front attached, but I think we're good. Kind of push it up a little bit and then wait till it dries. So let me go put the other one on and I'll be right back. My lashes are on. It is looking beautiful. I'm super happy with these lashes. So now I'm going to go in with that mascara that we used earlier. I'm using the Essence. This is Lash Princess Volume Mascara. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my natural lashes and connect them to the false lashes. And it makes them just look a little bit more full. Perfect. And then I'm just going to do my lower lashes just to finish it off. Get those really coated. It is contour time now. So I got this matte bronzer in my Ipsy bag, and I've been using it quite often, and I am loving it. Now, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. Hanali. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But it's a matte bronzer, and this is shade C15U01, and it is great. I have been using it so much. I really, really, really love it. And I'm just going to be using a small puffy brush. And I'm going to go along my cheekbone. We'll just give it a little bit of definition. And if you can't see your cheekbone, suck in your face like this. And there you go. It will give you a guide of where it should be. I finished the contour on my face. I got cut off, but I did my forehead, I did my jawline, I did all of that, and I'm happy with the way it's looking. So now I'm going to go in with a blush and a highlight, and I have been using this one quite often, and I got it in my Ipsy bag or my BoxyCharm. I'm sorry, I can't remember which one, but it's Pacifica, and this is Glimmer Shimmer. And that is great. I love it. It's the perfect shade for me. I'm just going to go in with a blush brush. Go into the blush, tap off, smile, and bring that right up to join with your contour. Oh, it's so beautiful. I absolutely love this shade. Like I said, I've been using this quite often. I am a huge, huge, huge fan. Huge fan. Now we're going to go in with highlight. I got my highlight brush. We're going to go in and we're going to go along here. And I like to define the apples of my cheeks. So I always put highlight on the apples of my cheeks. Just kind of bring it up into where the natural light would normally hit your face. Go there, along the nose, on your chin. And I like to go along the front of my brows. Give it lots of shine. I love a highlighter. Highlighter, I swear to God, it is my favorite. So I got that on, and because I put a lot of highlighter on, I'm just going to go in with my blush brush again and just pop on a little bit more of that blush. And then the highlight will just shine through that color, and it's flawless. It looks absolutely beautiful. For lips, I'm going to go nude. My eyes are kind of bold, so I am going to go nude. And today I'm going to be using Cool Lab. I love Cool Lab lipstick. If you want a really good lipstick that lasts all day, this is the lipstick for you. I'm going to be using the shade I'm Nude here. And it's a really, really light nude, but it's so beautiful. I love it. It just gives it a little pop. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. I do like my nudes. However, I do go a little bit more on the darker side sometimes. This is probably the lightest nude that I've used, but it's great for these beautiful bold eye looks. So here is my final look. I hope you love it. I am obsessed with it. I am so loving this so much, and I hope you love it as much as I do. If you like the content, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye.